Moving into the next panel, we're talking about VCs, which I tried to introduce before, and then appropriately, we had the 15-minute break. So I think the VC panel should be really interesting in that it's a different type of capital allocator, right? So when we're talking about the REITs and the owners of buildings, they're thinking about capital allocation in one way, and VCs think about it in a really different way, where a VC, ultimately, they're trying to hit the home runs, right? They're trying to get the companies that I can invest at an early stage, and they're going to be billion-dollar companies. So they think about risk in a really different way than I think this industry does, and it's great to be able to compare and contrast. So this panel is called The VC View, Identifying Unicorn Investments, What's Next for AI and Health Tech, and How Stakeholders Can Work Collectively to Serve Residents Best. Hear directly from VCs what makes an industry-changing unicorn investment stand out and why they succeed, why investors are excited about senior living, and what has previously prevented the industry from getting more backing, what the future of AI and health tech looks like, and what that means for investing. You'll also gain insight into how all stakeholders can work collectively to better serve residents, driving success across the ecosystem. So with that, I will introduce our moderator, Joanne Chen, and let Joanne introduce the others.
Thank you, George. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Joanne, and I'm a general partner of Foundation Capital. We were lucky enough to be the seed investor in Safely You starting in 2019. So I'm a little biased. Foundation, we've been around for 28 years, mostly seed and Series A stage investing, 450 portfolio companies, 34 have gone public since we've invested. A lot of AI investments, anything from Cerebras and Cohesity to Jasper, which is actually based here in Austin, and of course, Safely You. So I'm super excited to introduce or have our wonderful panelists introduce themselves today, and we could talk about how investors are thinking about AI, healthcare, and senior care. So, Scott, do you want to start?
Thank you. Are we supposed to use this as well?
There's another mic up there, too.
Oh.
Great. Go ahead.
Awesome. Hi, Scott Collins, CEO of Linkage. We've been around since the mid-90s. We started out as a managed care organization. We pivoted in the early 2000s into group purchasing for the post-acute space. We're owned by 14 not-for-profit senior living providers, so we provide support services for about 1,000 communities around the country. We have a market research business as well as 3 private equity funds in partnership with Ziegler, where we invest in early-stage companies with product services and technologies kind of focused in healthcare and aging. And then most recently, we created a company called Linkage Launch. And we're bringing the whole healthcare ecosystem together to innovate and invest in companies that we build ourselves to address pain points. So bringing in payers, policymakers, health systems in the post-acute world to build new businesses.
My name is Andy Cohen. I'm a partner with a firm called World Innovation Lab in Palo Alto and Tokyo. We're a bi-national venture firm. We have about $2 billion of assets under management, and we invest in growth stage software companies, sort of Series B and C and above. I've been there for 2 years, and prior to that, 25 years as an operator. Been at 6 different startups in Silicon Valley, a couple unicorns, a couple prairie dogs, and a couple crash and burns. So I've seen it all. I also had a brief foray in senior care. I was the founder and CEO of a company called Caring.com, which worked with a number of operators in the space that I sold in 2016. And just met Safely You a few months ago, but have been super impressed and excited to be included in this panel. So thank you very much, George, for inviting me.
Hi, everyone. My name is Greg Castle. I am the managing partner of a firm called Anorak Ventures. We're a pre-seed and seed-focused fund. We invest in companies that are based around differentiated technology. So there's a number of technologies that we believe are going to have an outsized impact on the future, and those are areas like computer vision, artificial intelligence, robotics, AR, VR. And we invest in companies that are building using these technologies. We believe that these technologies give the users a sustainable and substantial advantage over those that don't. We were pre-seed investors in Safely You, and we have a number of investments in companies that are putting cameras in places to collect intelligence. We have about 150 portfolio companies, and have been investing since 2016.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Maybe let's start with the hype. So everyone talks about AI constantly. And I'm curious if you guys can share what is exciting these days, especially in the healthcare and senior care space as it relates to AI, and perhaps what is not as exciting or not as relevant from your perspective. And maybe I'll ask Greg to start with that.
So I think there is a ton going on. The AI is essentially enabling us, enabling companies to be able to analyze data, large swaths of data in new ways and form valuable insights from that data, and do so in new ways that previously took kind of armies of people to figure out, data scientists and whatnot. And so I think what we're really interested in is the vertical applications of AI and companies that are leveraging it in order to kind of find insights that previously would have been very difficult to uncover. Yeah.
Great. Well, I'll just start by saying I've been in Silicon Valley for a bunch of cycles and seen a lot of the hype curves, and our view as a firm is that AI is not overhyped, that as much as you've read about it and as much money is going into it, we think it's just the start of a really profound shift in technology. If you look at the adoption curve of technologies and you look at how many users ChatGPT had in its first couple months, it's just off the charts growth, and so we think there's going to be a lot of exciting winners in AI, in addition to the firms that are creating the infrastructure for AI. The picks and shovels is what venture firms call them, the ones doing the picks and shovels, like in the gold rush, make a lot of money. But also we're seeing a lot of applications in sort of what we would call the co-pilot area, where AI can be used to make people more productive, just like typewriters were used to make people more productive, just like personal computers were used to make people more productive. We think AI on a whole number of industries are going to make people more productive, not replace people, make them more productive, whether they're computer programmers or marketers or nurses or staff members in your communities, because it's got the ability to leverage people with technology. And so I think it's super exciting. We're not even in the first inning. We're still in the bullpen, I think, of it. But I think for the senior living industry, I'm really excited about that opportunity to augment people. When you see the staffing shortages that everybody's facing,